Hey guys, Weird Alicorn again. And I'm actually recording this right after I finished, what was it called? The Jared Milton story. So, and this story that I'm going to be reading is called The Ocean Above Us. It's by Diz-037, who actually has some pretty cool covers on YouTube if you want to check them out. So, yeah, plugging people. That's what I do. I endorse and I love and I spread the tolerance. That sounded totally lame. All right, so I'm on the info page for this fic. Let me just read through the description really quick because I haven't. I think I read through this like a week ago or something, but I never can't remember. Can't remember that long ago. Apparently, this is a dark fic. Ooh, dark. Crossover, adventure, and alternate universe. The description says Nimbus, a Pegasus pony with a mechanical wing, goes to the mysterious underwater city of Rapture. Oh, cool. It's a Bioshock crossover. Okay, that's what the picture. Duh. That's what the cover art is of Rapture. He goes to the underwater city of Rapture that his adopted little sister had gone to with his coworker and close friend. However, he finds that the city is slowly falling apart, and he and his shy companion have to depend on what can sometimes hurt the most: friendship. They will soon learn that a new kind of magic is rising, but it will be able to trump. But will it be able to trump the friendship or the magic of friendship, rather? I don't know. Will it be able to triumph? We shall see. First chapter. I don't know if I'll get through this first chapter completely, especially now that I've read the opening thing. I didn't really need to do that. Just warn you guys, this is teen and it's gore, so I haven't read it yet, so I have no idea what's going to be in it. But I assume if it's Bioshock, you're going to have some kind of big daddy drill going through someone. I don't know. Okay, so the first chapter, A Warm Welcome. It starts out with a quote, apparently. In all of my time studying under the princess, I only now realize that the magic of friendship is only one of the many different types of magic. Twilight Sparkle, talking about Adam? Adam. Oh yeah, it's been forever since I played Bioshock. I didn't play Infinite. I've seen people playing Infinite, so. But they don't even call it Adam in there, do they? They call it like Vigor or something. Whatever it's called. I forget what it's called in Infinite. Someone let me know what it's called in Infinite. Okay. So we're breaking the text from that little quote by Twilight. Supposedly that's going to, or I guess it's going to be relevant later on, especially if he's talking about Adam. It says, Nimbus looked over the edge of the rowboat he sat on. A pair of boring blue eyes looked back, much less interesting than the stars in the sky above. Attached to those eyes was the head of a charcoal gray-coated pony, his muzzle pronounced in a way that suggested he was a stallion. A messy cobalt blue mane came down before his eyes and hung loosely down about his shoulders. Do ponies have shoulders? That's a good question. I don't know if ponies have shoulders. I mean, I guess they do. I mean, that's what you would call where their neck's attached to, but do you call those shoulders? I guess you do, because lamb, like when you get lamb, you can get shoulder of lamb, okay? Whatever. Just thinking about anywhere near his shoes made him shudder. He was a Pegasus pony, but he had lost his feathery appendages during an accident at the weather control in Cloudsdale. Ooh, that's messed up. At least he was told it was an accident. He was told it was an accident. Is it gonna be like? Because I know the story to Infinite. Is it gonna be like? Because her pinky's missing, right? So is it like his feathers are missing, and he's like, making connections here, guys. I don't know. Did this come out after Infinite was made, or I wonder when it came out? The wild storm cloud was just too close to the Pegasus device. I don't know where I'm at. At least he was told it was an accident. The wild storm cloud was just too close to the Pegasus device to have floated there on its own. It activating the device right as his right wing was close enough to get caught in the gears of the device was more than a coincidence as well. Oh, so he's like reminiscing about his accident. That was like weird to just kind of bring that. I mean, I know he mentioned it, but that was kind of a weird segue into it. And I think you have a little bit of a typo there going on. That wasn't important now, though. But it reminded him why he wasn't simply flying to this place. He did receive a mechanical wing, but it was prone to complications when used for long periods of time. That, and the butter yellow mare that sat across from him in the boat. Okay. That and the butter... That was a weird sentence. Her long pink mane nearly blocked out a pair of unicorns. The pair of unicorns that wielded the oars of the boat from his sight. His blue eyes were concealed as well. This pony was a Pegasus that was afraid to use her wings. As shy as she was, she insisted on coming with him. So, butter yellow. I wonder who that's going to be with a pink mane. Just going to take a stab in the dark and say it's Lyra. Am I right, guys? I'm so alone. Anyway, back to the story. That brought him to remembering why they were here in the first place. Nimbus's adopted sister had gone to some sort of underground city, Rapture, she had called it, with another member of the factory in which he worked. They needed to get away from all the political turmoil in Ponyville. I didn't know there was so much political turmoil in Ponyville. Mayor is like... He's going for communism, while the new Princess Twilight is more of a fascist. He hadn't heard from her or his co-worker in some time, and he had decided to take a trip to the city himself. His companion apparently was friends with him as well, and asked to come along when she overheard a conversation he was having with some pony else at a cafe. Now he felt a little bit nervous. As they approached a tall lighthouse with a small set of stairs leading up to it, the two unicorns rowing the boat began to talk to each other, just barely audible to Nimbus. Okay, so it's going to be like those two from Infinite, okay. Do you think this is going to work? An upper class I can't do it like a... What kind of voice would she have? It's not like British, but it's kind of like that Stewie Griffin kind of voice, but it's female. I don't know if I can do that kind of voice. Do you think this is going to work? An upper class female voice said. Of course it is, a male voice replied, just as high up sounding. It already has. The question is, will they? That is a good question. Nimbus looked around his pink-maned companion to get a better look at them. They were both indeed tan unicorns, both having a deep brown mane. The female who had her back to him had a longer mane than the other, but both of them partly covered by yellow rain jackets and hats. Got an itch. Alright, there we go. Nimbus said his first words in several hours. Ugh, I can't talk. Nimbus said his first words in several hours that the trip took. Is this it? Well, the Mayor Unicorn began. That depends on what you mean by it, the stallion continued. If you're referring to where your trip ends, said the mayor, then that would be correct. But if you're referring to where your journey ends, the stallion... What? Oh, if you're referring to where your trip ends, said the mayor, then that would be correct. But if you're referring to where your journey ends, the stallion finished, then that would be incorrect. I wonder how closely this is going to follow Infinite. I mean, they're going to Rapture, so it's obviously they're not going to Columbia. Like, I know the whole story of Bioshock Infinite, so like I saw it all played out, but I just haven't like played it. I played it like once. I picked up the controller when my cousin was playing it, and that was it. So I wonder how closely this is going to follow that story. What parts will be similar? What parts will break apart? Obviously, we already have Fluttershy with him. I don't know if Fluttershy is going to be like Elizabeth, or I don't know. Who knows? The rowboat pulled up to the dock, where a ladder led up to the planks above. Nimbus put a hoof on the rung of one of them and pulled himself up. He was a bit sleepy from the ride and didn't feel like flying. His yellow mare companion followed him up. Nimbus looked in all directions and found only water, save the lighthouse and the planks leading to the stairway, and in turn the door. From the top of the planks, Nimbus looked down at the rowboat as the two moved the oars to return to where they had came. "Hey, is any pony going to meet us here?" he asked. "Oh, I do hope so," the mare said, only briefly turning to look back up at him. "This does seem like a horrible place to be stranded, don't you think?" the stallion casually asked, no pony in particular, as they rode away. The conversation slowly became inaudible. Perhaps there was something inside the lighthouse. Walking down the planks, he studied the concrete pillar, its classic design reminding him of Canterlot a bit. A slim, tall antenna protruded from the top, reflecting light onto passers-by. Okay. Where am I at? I just lost my place for some reason. Oh shit. I totally lost my spot. I just had like a brain fart right there. I don't even know what happened. Okay. It was only when he was about to open the door when a rather disturbing realization came to him. Those two unicorns were using their hooves to row, not their magic. Why would they do that? The possibilities of why a unicorn would have to use just hooves for something so trivial began to pester Nimbus's mind. Maybe they just like using their hooves, I don't know. The door creaked open, the view inside revealing nothing but darkness. Taking one last look behind him, he stepped inside, his companion following him. The crash of the door shutting behind them made them both jump, turning around only to find that all light had been drained from the room. His yellow-coated friend squeaked at the sound of the door gently clicking, signifying it had been locked from the outside. How did that work? I have no idea. Several moments passed, neither of them daring to move in the darkness. With a loud click, several spotlights turned on from above them, illuminating the dark chamber. In it, there was a round object, made of some sort of metal, with the word bathysphere on it, printed on one of the sides. It was big enough to fit several average-sized ponies, maybe even a larger stallion, like the big one from the weather team. A banner hung... oh, like the big one. What's that guy's name? The white one that was in... what's that? He was in... Wonderbolt Academy. I think that's what he's referring to. That one that looks like it's on, like, steroids. What's that one called? I totally forget his name. Or her name. Is it a he or she? I don't know. A banner hung from the ceiling with large gold letters printed on a red background. "No princesses or kings, only ponies," Nimbus read under his breath, thinking about what it meant. He decided to inspect the bathysphere more, walking around it to get a better look at it. On one side, which he assumed was the front, there was a large glass window, framed in the same metal that the bathysphere was made from, attached to the sphere on a hinge. Inside, he could see a red carpeting and fancy-looking seating, as well as a lever. A lever? Is it a lever or a lever? "Looks like this is our only option," Nimbus said to his companion, who had been following him slightly this whole time. She shook a little at the idea of entering this foreign device. I don't think we should," she began, her voice like a feeble rabbit. The rest of her sentence came out as a mumble. "What's that?" Nimbus said, looking back at her. "I said, I don't think we should," she gulped. "Go in there." "Why not?" "It looks scary, and I'm not sure if it's safe, and..." "Oh, come on, Fluttershy," Nimbus said. "I don't suppose you'd actually want to just sit in here for the rest of your life." Fluttershy looked away, the curl on her mane hiding her face. "Well, actually..." Before she could continue, Nimbus swung open the window and pulled them both inside. Fluttershy leapt out an eep as the door swung shut, and Nimbus pulled the lever. She jumped and let out another surprise sound as the bathysphere began to descend, eventually sunk into the ocean. Nimbus put a hoof on Fluttershy's shoulder and coaxed her to sit down on the velvet seating, in order to calm her nerves and stop her from having a heart attack. The heart attack almost came again when the screen came up in front of the window to the outside. As a movie projector that Nimbus had overlooked cast its movie on the screen, Fluttershy looked away in fright, while Nimbus himself just casually watched. On the screen was porn. It was very oh wait, no, that wasn't right. It showed a still black and white portrait of a unicorn stallion, dressed in a fancy suit and tie, sitting at a desk with a small oil lamp. A voice was heard. "I am Andrew Ryan, and I am here to ask you a question. Is a pony not entitled to the sweat on his brow?" "No," says the pony in Camelot. "It belongs to the princesses." "No," says the pony in Saddle Arabia. "It belongs to the poor." "No," says the pony in Stalliongrad. Oh, that's whack. Stalliongrad? "It belongs to every pony." Communism, man. "I rejected those answers. I chose something different. I choose the impossible. I choose Rapture." At that moment, the screen was pulled back, and the view of the brilliant city could be seen. Tall buildings, maybe even taller than those in Camelot, spread into the distance that the bathysphere floated closer to the city. It was amazing, beautiful, and impossible. Nimbus couldn't believe what he was seeing. Sure, he believed the rumors of there being a city underwater, but he hadn't expected it to be a city of such grand scale. He nudged Fluttershy, who was still looking away, and got her to look out the window. Her shock mirrored Nimbus's. Ryan's voice continued. "A city where the artist would not fear the censure, where the scientist would not be bound by petty morality, where the great would not be constrained by the small, and with the sweat on your brow, Rapture can become your city as well." Nimbus was in utter disbelief at this point. Sure, a pony was entitled to his opinions, and he could go on and do whatever he pleased inside of legal bounds. He could even go so far as to reject the princesses of Equestria. But what truly baffled Nimbus was that there was this Andrew Ryan who had attained all the materials to create this city, if not from the princesses. Oh, I think I read that sentence wrong, but I'm not going to go back and read it. He doubted they'd help any pony who had such a strong opinion. He doubted they'd help any pony who had such a strong opinion against them, much less an idea as crazy as this one. A city at the bottom of the ocean. I don't know, it should be Fluttershy's voice. A city at the bottom of the ocean. Wow. Fluttershy spoke louder than she ever had that day. Stop making me reread this. A city at the bottom of the ocean. Wow. Fluttershy spoke louder than she had that day, which wasn't very loud at all. Oh, come on. Now I have to reread it again. I'm not going to. They floated past the buildings, all bearing various neon signs that depicted a variety of necessities a large city would need. Restaurants, general stores, specific stores, bars, inns. This city had it all. Maybe it wasn't such a bad place. Maybe Nexus would move in here with his little sister. Who knows? Nexus? I thought his name was Nimbus. One thing caught his eye, though. In a tunnel that connected two buildings together, the lighting had appeared to have not been working. On top of the tunnel, a stallion in a large metal diver suit, completed with a domed helmet, stood, working on what seemed to be the lighting inside. As he worked, Nimbus could have swore he had gotten the lights back on for a split second, and in that split second, he saw two figures, one a unicorn stallion, and one a unicorn mare. They both had tan coats, and they both had deep brown manes. Fluttershy seemed to be too taken in by the other shites to notice, but Nimbus had known he had seen them before, somewhere else. In that moment, the lights flickered again, and they seemingly disappeared. Ooh, the lights will flicker on and off. The author's note says, so the stage seems set, and the city of Rapture seems like a nice place. However, if you've ever played a Bioshock game before, you'll know things are never as they seem. So this is going to get I'm gonna guess pretty. I'm gonna guess the next chapter that shit is gonna hit the fan. Metaphorically speaking, of course. Um, so that's enough for this. Reading this for now because we read through the first chapter. Once again, this was by Diz 037. That's capital D, lowercase I, capital Z dash 037 or 037 if you want to be specific about it. That was good. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the opening. So hopefully this turns into a very kind of thriller mystery. I guess it's going to be an adventure as they're going through Rapture, of course. And apparently it's going to be dark. So maybe some pony is going to get killed. I don't know. If Fluttershy dies, oh my god. I might cry. I might just cry. Fluttershy is going to be turned into a little sister. Or the little sister is going to be turned into a little sister. Who knows? Who knows? And Andrew Ryan. I would love to see a bona fide version of Andrew Ryan. That would be great. A man can work the sweat of his brow. Is that like that long monologue when you're like fighting him or whatever at the end? So this was good. I like Bioshock. I like My Little Pony. I like the two together. Very interesting. Some grammar mistakes, but hey, that happens. Whatever. His style overall, I enjoy it. It can be specific when it needs to be, and it can just kind of be general when it has to be. He doesn't worry too much over like meaningless tasks. I've seen a lot of fanfics where they just kind of fucking spend 15 paragraphs on like someone making a vegetarian meal. Like, I get it. A human is in Equestria. I get it. But obviously, this isn't a human in Equestria. This is like a pony in like a video game. So hopefully, there aren't too many of those moments coming up where like nothing's happening to move along the plot. So I'll be back reading the next chapter because I enjoy this. This has been Weird Alicorn reading The Ocean Above Us. Later, guys.